Week 3, we are going to discuss about data cleaning and preparing some outcome indicators using different situations and multiple indicator classes survey questions. So I'm talking about my course from data to manuscript, and this is a week 3 presentation, and we are going to talk about the three major areas. So first one is creating a composite indicators and recoding the variables, and then we will running some descriptive statistics to see the frequencies of those variables. So this is the focus of this week. And in this case, I have some examples. In case of a composite variable, so basically in that case we have a multiple questions, and then we want to be put them together making a one outcome indicator or outcome variable by looking the all four to five or number of questions we have, which we're going to be combine them. So I'm going to show you in this case a child labor set of questions and how we will convert them into binary variable for our binary logistic purposes. And the second part I'm going to discuss about how we can use the recoding options if the information which we need to be categorized is stored in a one single variable, but they have a more than two options or multiple values to different responses, and we need to be recoded for our research purposes. So there are two different examples which I'm going to show. One is a very simple, and the second one is a little bit complex nature of the question here. So uh, in the survey data sets, there are uh, different situations depending on the kind of things researchers want to do to prepare your dependent variables. So I'm just trying to give you the ideas how you can use the tools, or when you understand the question, and then you can try to build your own, create your own outcome indicators. So let's see what we have in the first example. So first example where we try to build composite indicator child labor, and there are four questions. And if you can see on the bottom, on the left bottom side of the slide, there are four questions: CL1, A, B, C, and X. And these are the four questions we're going to be combine them and making a one question outcome variable to say whether this child is engaged in a child labor activities. Yes means 1 and no means 0. So that is the main thing which we are going to be use to combine that. How we will do in SPSS, I have a clip recorded for this purpose. I'm just going to play so you can watch how you can do in SPSS. Preparing. In this video, I'm going to show you how to prepare a composite indicator or variable. So we have four questions regarding child labor, and we have the values 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 9 for no response. And this is a similar pattern in all four questions. So the logic is, if we want to be computing the new variable, so we go to the transform and then compute variable, and then we are going to be used a new variable name. So in this case, I have child labor, and then for recording, and I have to pick the cases. So the first situation is where we are saying the logic is, in this case, if the child is involved in child labor, so they have to be all the options no in case of not involved, and yes, it has to be either one of them. So I'm taking If this logic, if question answer of the first question is no, the second question no, and all questions answers are no, so it is the case when we will declare this child a, is not involved in child labor activities. It means 0. We will put the value 0 and then we will run this one. So now it will create a variable at the end of the table. You can see the variable, and now we want to repeat the same process with the same name of the variable. This time we're going to be say the yes, and now the statement will be changed. So yes mean 1, but option is any one of the option has yes when it means when a child is involved in any one of these 4 activities. Okay, so this is the logic we are going to be changed, and in this case the value will be 1, which means yes, and now we're going to be overwrite this variable. So now we will, you can see this variable. Let's go and run the frequency. So we want to see what will happen at when we have this variable. So this variable I'm going to be include, and this one I'm going to exclude, and I don't need to change anything else. Just press the button and we will have the frequency. So now you can see 0 and 1, and this is about 29% cases where the 1 is, it means the child is involved in child labor activities. Okay, so now we can also do a little bit refinement. So we go and check the values here, and we can set the values. 0 means no, and 1 means yes, and then we're going to be apply this one and save this variable and run that frequency again, and then you will see this time it will give you the values label uh, instead of the code. So but the same information and same frequency will be get it. So this is the way we can combine different questions into one outcome indicator. And this is a particular situation when you can see how we can apply this example where we were combining the multiple questions. So if you have any dependent variable, which is a similar situation, you can use a similar approach to combine them together and making a composite indicator. Preparing So now the second topic is recoding. So the recoding the variables. So I have one example where we have vitamin A dose, and the exact question is called VS1. And now you can see the statement of this question, which can be found on the page 526 of the multiple indicator cluster survey, which I picked for this course, which is Balochistan, Pakistan. I think the most latest one is picked for that. So if you see the outcome of this question, which is reported in that report, which is for survey findings, so you can see the about like 30% children get those doses. So its dose is very low, and this vitamin is very supplement is important for different kind of like your vision or eye related health, and then immune system. So these are the important supplement for the children. So this we need to see what is the other situations. We will pick that variable. Now we want to see if this variable is ready for the analysis, or if not, then how we will preparing this one to move forward. So this variable, when we look into the question here, and they have two possibilities, yes or no, supplement like those given are yes or no. But the yes or no is not in a way we need for the our analysis purposes. Like we need a binary 1 and 0, which is not coded in that good. So I have another video for you to watch and see how this recoding process can be done using SPSS software. Now I'm going to show you how to use recode option. So this is an example of vitamin A, where we have option when the supplement is given, yes, two is no, and then we have those other options as well. So when you want to be run the binary or binary logistic regression, so you need your dependent variable has to be yes or no, but the values you want to be used for the coding should be 0 and 1. That's the binary numbers we need to be defined. And then the main focus, like if you want to calculate the percentage of like vitamin A, so given yes, so you need to be yes go to the 1, and the no should be 0. So how you want to do this one, recode the same variable and prepare it for the like those binary logistic regression dependent variable. So in this case, we will go and use a recode into the different variable. Okay, so we don't want to override this variable, so we will use and prepare another variable by using the existing one, and we have that variable name is vs1. So we can enter vs1 is line number 370, so it will be around, yeah, at the end. So let me see the statement. Yeah, so here statement. CAH. And we have this variable. Okay, so finally we got the variable, and we need to be see the vs1, and we say the new. So this is, we can add the new variable, and yeah, we will leave it as it is for the change. So you can see the variable name you're proposing, new variable name is going to be this one. And now how to define the values, recode those values. So our original value 1, old value, we want to keep them as it is 1, and but the sec 2 will become 0 because we want to be making a binary, so we want to transform this value, change the value into a new values, and by creating a new variable. So this is a way we will using this variable, and then we will performing this on all cases, and at the result we will get a variable at the end, and we will run the frequency again, and this time it's easy to find this variable at the end. And now we will run the frequency, and now you can see the 0 and 1, and this is the percentage of the this dose. You can see it's about 34% children have this vitamin A. So this is a way you can recode this variable into one, and similar kind of things we can repeat on this one if you want to be set the values, those values. So we go to this section and then add no or 0 as a no, and then the second value is 1 as a yes. So this is a way we can prepare this variable to start. If you want to set the label for this, you can also do that. And now this variable is ready for next analysis if you want to run those kind of things. So this is a way recoding we can be used in different ways, but this one is more appropriate in our case where we don't want to override the variable if we want to create a new one, and we just want to be changing the values of the variable according to our requirement for the regression. Okay, so now we have another example where we will repeat the same exercise, recoding, but this variable is belong to the first module, which is the household level, and we are talking about the drinking water sources. So there's only one question, which is the WS1, and you can see the report is giving you some summarized form of this question, and these are the different options we have at the response, and that they can further divide it into two improved and unimproved water sources. So our area, like if you want to conduct the research, you might be interested why people have improved water, why not they have improved water. So we want to know how many people are using unimproved water sources and what are the socioeconomic factors are associated with those households or the individual as well. So if you see the percentage using improved sources of drinking water, which is about 85, over 85% households or population. In other words, they're using the improved water sources, and in other words, like about 14.4% per households is using unimproved water sources. So now we want to be see how we can prepare this variable. If you are interested to know the improved water sources, and at the yes, and now it's not improved water sources, then we will be using 0 in no. So that's the way we want to convert this all these categories into two options, which is yes or no, based on the improved water sources. You can prepare this variable other way around. If you want to focus on unimproved water sources, that will be yes, and then you will be the unimproved, improved will become no. So how you want to phrase, what is your main logic to do that? So that's the way we will prepare the variable for the further regression analysis. So this variable is basically have a list of these different options, and that's the actual values they use when they data entry in SPSS, and these are the labels for a description of these codings. So by looking these options and consulting the report, we come to know these four categories, 32, 42, 81, and 96. These are the options which can fall under the unimproved water sources. So it means we need to categorize this one into two groups, and we can use the logic when we will see these list. So we can use the formula to do that, or we can use the recode options to apply the same thing in there. So we can use both composite, like we from creating a new variable and use the formula, or we can use the recoding to make it this variable into binary variable. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to perform this recoding on this drinking water source. Please watch this video. This is another example of recoding. So this time I'm applying this recoding option using another variable under the household level data, which is a source of main source of drinking water, which is the variable name is WS1, and there are a number of options values we can pick. And as you know, last time I discussed, like we have these values categorized into two groups. So we want to be making a dependent variable percentage of households with improved water sources. And then we have unimproved. So improved will be 1 and unimproved will be 0. So that is the main plan. So what we will do, go to the transform again, go to the same option recode into the different variables. And what you need to do is pick the variable first, And that's all. I already choose the variable. So once you have that variable, and then you need to be rename it. So I can put this name as a new one. So, and I'm not going to set the variable and change it. So now we have original variable ws1 and changing into ws1 underscore new one. So the values we have, we need to recode them, because the list of the values you see, we have already categorized them. So old value will go here, and then we need to put the new value 1. So we have either 1 or 0. So you can see these four options we set as a 0. So you need to be perform one by one, take enter the value by looking the list, and then new value set as a either 1 or 0, because we want to be make this one a binary variable for our logistic regression. So once you've done this one, so now you need to be run that one, and it will create a new variable. Going back to the table, so this variable will be normally created at the end of this table. At the list of the variables, you can go to the frequency again to see what happened, and we will take this variable, new variable we calculated, and then we can estimate and see what's the frequency. So as you can see, we have about 82% improved water sources, household using improved water sources, and about 15% households having unimproved water for the drinking purposes. So this is the way you can see, you can record variable, and again the same thing if you want to be setting the values. So you can add 0 for unimproved, and then we have 1 improved. Fine, and then we can add the word sources, and then we can add the word sources as well. Okay, so, and now we can rerun that frequency again, and now we can see the results is going to have unimproved and improved sources recorded there. So this is a way you can use the recode to create your dependent variable for the analysis. Okay, this is another example of, so in this week we have discussed about two major things: how to preparing a composite indicator when we have a multiple variables, and which we wanna be combine them to make our own outcome indicator for the analysis purpose, particularly for the binary logistic regression. The second option is how we, if you have a single variable but they have more than different options, more than two options, and or some cases they have a two options but they're not the way we want to be use a variable, like in a binary for 0 and 1, it's not there. So we can use the recoding option to create a new variables, or we can recode within this existing variable and for our analysis purposes. So next week uh, I'm going to be discussed about the chi-square test, and to see how to define the relationship between the dependent and independent variables. I will discuss some independent variable possible predictors which we can use based on the multiple indicator cluster survey datasets, which is normally similar across different surveys and from different countries. So that's my plan for the next week, and please let me know if you have any questions or you have any feedback. I will appreciate your comments, and I will try to be address those questions if you have related to this course. Thank you very much for watching.